it has been a dramatic morning for Sir Keir Starmer. Wes Streeting will reportedly resign as Health Secretary and trigger a leadership contest against the Prime Minister as soon as tomorrow. Wes met Sir Keir for just 16 minutes this morning. As we speak, the Prime Minister is attending the all-important King's speech. But will he still be in his position by the afternoon? Or should he just walk away? I mean, it's been the discussion on every news channel for the past sort of 24 hours, Coleen. I mean, it's a tough time for everyone involved in that world, but for the entire country, we're all going to be affected.
It is, but I think here's the thing for me. I think obviously it's hard. It's kind of hard to walk away from things because you feel like, well, I'm a failure or all of those things. But actually, if the whole country, which it seems at the moment, and the people that are working for you are all saying you need to go, you need to swallow that pride and that ego and go, do you know what? In my opinion, I've done my best, but I'm going to walk away because it's not working. So I think in that respect, absolutely. But I think it's egotistical when everyone else is telling you to go that you're going, no, I'm not going.
I think there's obviously a definite lack of confidence from his fellow party members, and I think the public as well. There's been so much controversy and so much drama, and the country's in such a state that, you know, everybody's voted for him to go. Well, I say voted for him. He's gone in with promises and not delivered on these promises once again. It's just the same old story.
Yeah, I mean, the local council elections obviously have spoken volumes, and I think that's sort of turned the tide. But then again, it's very destabilising to have to shift prime ministers, isn't it, mid-term? I mean, it's starting to feel like football, you know, where suddenly they'll get rid of a football manager really quickly. Should we be giving him more time?
You know what, my thing is, right, I know that people are saying that, you know, not happy with some of the stuff that he hasn't done and some of the things he has done, but I have to really question, which Prime Minister have we had over these years? I think we've had someone like 5, 6 or so in like 10 years has been able to do the job that they've stepped up at first to actually say they're going to do. Not one of them has been able to deliver, and it makes me think, instead of looking at them as individuals, even though we want our Prime Minister to lead, this shows me there's a layer, a fundamental issue regards our Parliament, regard the policies, regard us as a country. Like, it really upsets me that, you know, we're supposed to be Great Britain, but we're hearing things from across the waters. We're hearing from our own communities in the UK that the country's not how it used to be. So, yes, you could bring somebody else in, but are you just setting them up to fail because there's a long-standing issue?
But my point, I think people would appreciate it if somebody else came in and said, look, guys, our whole country's in a mess, and I'm not a magician. I'm not going to be able to sort this out in a matter of months, and I'm not going to promise you that. But if you give me time... They all say that, and that's the problem. They don't deliver, and then we go, well, you lied.
But do you
Someone
think
needs to come in with absolute honesty and go, it's probably going to take me 2 or 3 years to sort this out, because we're in a mess.
Yeah, and I think you're right.
But bear with me, and I'll, you know, hopefully get there. Just stop lying.
I think that is the issue. A lot more honesty, and actually, collectively, if we sit down and really look, that there is a lot going on. Just this one person cannot do it. There is a layer of issues going on in the UK, which I think we've not seen before. We've got poverty, high crime, you know, homelessness. It's so heartbreaking, because the reality is the frustration comes from us wanting the country to get back to the way it should be.
I mean, Keir Starmer clearly wanted to be the Prime Minister for a very long time. He fought very hard to be there. So it's a difficult thing to walk away from, even if it is just ego. And there's much more than that involved, of course there is. But have you ever been in that position where you've kind of gone, I think this might be the time, and you've taken this decision to step out?
In a personal front?
Yeah.
Yeah, obviously. I hate going on about being divorced. But obviously you get to a point in any relationship or whatever, if it's not working, you know, and it's hard, you know, whatever you're walking away from, especially if you still have feelings or it's just because it's just not working, you've kind of gone like this. It's a really hard decision to make, and I think it takes time. But I think for me, the times I've walked away have been the best decisions. At the time it's hurt and I've had to grieve and I've had to question myself, but actually it's always been the right decision for me at that time.
Yeah.
I had an example when before I did X Factor and everything, I was working as an accounts payable assistant, and I was in a job, and I could tell that I've spoken about it on here. We had a topic talking about mothers going back to work and are you treated fairly, and I did have an employer who just started to make my life a bit more difficult with, you know, he knows I've got children and I was a single mother, and for my childminding, it was a bit of a problem for me, and he would give me things to do at like 5 o'clock. You've got to stay till 5 o'clock when I should have been leaving to go and pick up the kids, and I just saw more of a progression, moving the goalpost from what was on the job description, and so I decided, as much as I needed the job because that was my money, that was, you know, I decided to resign because I could feel that he was trying to push me out. So I'm always about, let me walk away before you push me out.
Well, there's a lesson to be learned there, and sometimes and there's a huge strength in that as well, isn't there, Judi?
You know, we could all say relationships and stuff, but there was a period when I was a social worker and my job was like 2 hours away from where I lived, and I had the children and struggling as a single parent, trying to balance, and I had a part-time job. So I made a decision to leave because I felt like I couldn't put the 100% in, and I was also pursuing the career in entertainment. And I made that decision. I said, I'm gonna try. I'm gonna put my 100% in. It was either social work or this, and I took that decision. I did all other jobs, cleaning and whatever else was there. That made it more easier for me to be at home in time for the kids and so on. And sometimes you make the hardest decisions, and the reward comes back afterwards. Because if I didn't, I wouldn't be here.
Yeah. Absolutely. Well, this is it, exactly that.